Welcome to Comics League Dark. I'm Jared. I'm here with Nick from the Phoenix Press. What's up, brother?
It's Morbin time.
Oh boy. Oh, trust me, dude. I get to get you back for that pun in this stream, so that's gonna be really fun. So the rest of the guys should be showing up momentarily, but in the meantime, what do you say we start off about Dave?
Dave, I love you.
So what do you say we start off with a little bit of some X-Men 97? So I love how they brought back the original Jubilee voice actress. That was dope. Hey,
I mean, it's cool, but the reason we wanted to give the role to an Asian actress is just complete bullcrap.
Which, yeah, okay, but I'm just saying it was real. It's cool to see the actress return some way.
I mean, for me, it was all the video game references.
Yeah.
Like the fact, okay, let me I posted this on my Twitter where that cartridge is a very clear homage to the X-Men video game from the Sega Genesis. Like, it is the exact same label art, and this is where you call me a nerd and an old man.
Nerd old man. I also really liked how gaming Jubilee was more adept at using her powers than actual real life Jubilee, and you kind of see she learned how to use her powers, because the show is kind of showing maybe Jubilee isn't as useless as people typically paint her.
Oh, so do you know what Jubilee's favorite song is?
What?
Firework by Katy Perry.
Of course. Well, I'm gonna really enjoy this stream later on when we get to a certain other Marvel property, because
no, we're not going there.
We're not going there yet. We're not going there yet. The other guys have to be here for that.
Why did you do that, bro? Why did you shut that off the neck of my collar? Jeez.
You should have actually done the homework for April Fool's Day, but okay. Magneto's lines and some of the sprites were a direct homage to the classic arcade games. Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. Also, Motendo.
I know what they're doing. That was really good.
My favorite thing was when they showed the arcade. The side art, I think, was a direct homage to one of the arcade games.
Yeah, it was. And by the way, it got really hot in here, so.
Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight?
How you doing, JJheat?
Hey, I'm doing all right. But apparently, the new X-Men series is actually off to a good start.
I'm surprised. I'm waiting. Again, I say this every week. I am waiting for the shoe to drop and it to somehow.
This show was a bit of a low point, though. I have to admit.
Mm-hmm.
The video game stuff was fun. The stuff with Forge was a bit cringy, especially when it's like, "I love you, Storm. You're a god." You're god.
You're laying it on a little thick.
I mean, they did have a thing in the comics that's probably what they're referencing.
Yeah, but it could have been done a lot better, is what I'm trying to say.
And Brown, yes, Jubilee was in JLA event. She wasn't in JLA Avengers. She was in DC versus Marvel. And the funny part is, I think she was paired up with fighting Robin, but they didn't want to fight, so it ended up with them just hanging out.
That sounds accurate.
Pretty much.
Exactly. The Jubilee's cooler than that. Fireworks by Susie and the Banshees is her song. Oh, Dave the Impaler's disputing that, Nick.
Oh, no. I think we might need to have a civil war.
Oh, of course. So, yeah, I mean, this of the ones we've had so far, this one was not as good as the previous ones. But what I'm saying is that there's none so far that are really, really bad. Like the Marvel's bad. There's none that are like that I'm watching that are offensive. So far, they're is one weak? Okay, fine.
I will say I'm starting to notice a rather unsettling trend. They're speed running through stories.
They are.
They're doing adversary. They're very clearly doing adversary next episode. The Mojo stuff is literally I think multiple storylines worth of content distilled into 15 minutes. Like, yeah, was it fun? Cool. But Mojo kind of deserves more than that. And then I just feel like they're going to do what they did the Goblin Queen, like, and the Inferno, is all the adversary stuff is just going to be one episode. And yeah, it might be a good episode, but they're kind of burning through their best content.
Which is true, but I get it. You got to look at it from a business standpoint, Nick. On average, with animation nowadays, all the companies are taking a hit. Marvel, Warner Brothers, DC, everybody. Mm-hmm. These companies likely only get 2 seasons commissioned from the start, best case scenario. Sometimes it's one split into 2, but that's a separate conversation. Even with that, if you want some impact or some genuine and consistent quality to get you through those 2 seasons alone or within that production value, yeah, I can understand them rushing through some iconic storylines. So
here's the problem. Like Inferno, that is a storyline that can last you an entire season. Adversary is another thing that can last maybe even 2 seasons. Like, look how much content they got off of, like, basically the Phoenix Saga was an entire season. Which, by the way, that's the only time they've done the Phoenix Saga right, was in the X-Men cartoon.
There you go.
That they let they play out beautifully. Like, Inferno could have been that would have been a really great season. Adversary, another great season. But they're just, the fact that they're going through this stuff so fast, like, even with you only get 1 or 2 seasons, the fact that they're burning through it is actually a detriment to the series, in my opinion.
I agree. That's a fair point.
She wasn't dating Robin. She was just hanging out with him. But I forget what were her powers again.
Fireworks.
At first it was fireworks. Then she got turned into a vampire at some point because she got depowered in House of M. And then they decided to make her a vampire, which I'm like,
I wonder, like, if she actually kissed Robin, would fireworks happen? Would there be fireworks between them?
Well, at least it wouldn't be Robin with Starfire, that's for sure.
Aside
from a few nitpicks, it's a fantastic show. I expect the show to end before Grant Morrison's new X-Men. It'll probably condense a lot of storylines for a handful of reasons, for a handful of seasons. Yeah, I think they'll probably. Yeah, go ahead, JJheat.
Before we move on, please, Disney Plus or whoever's running the show now, for the love of God, do not adapt Krakoa. Just bury it. Just leave it alone.
No, kill it. Kill it with fire. I don't think they are, because here's the thing that we're considering. Look at the comics. The comics are basically burn Krakoa to the ground.
I think as far as animation, the next step is Spider-Man 94. I think that's probably what they're going to go with next. Like, I think at some point Spider-Man's going to appear. Like, they're probably going to bring back that as a backdoor pilot kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe in season 2, because remember, this is set for multiple seasons. So
yes. Yeah. 2 seasons were commissioned, and they just got greenlit for a 3rd.
And Tavia, you said the name of He Who Must Not Be Named, so now I must play the clip, because we don't say the J word on this stream.
Why did you say that name?
Hey, what's up, Hero Mode? What's up? They're definitely rushing the end of the Krakoa age as of late. Yeah, because
it sucked.
Damaged the brand. That's the thing. And if you notice, look at Gail Simone's X-Men team. It's basically the 90s X-Men group. So I'm like, they're probably banking really hard on this era of X-Men, because this is the era where the Claremont era of X-Men was outselling Batman. That's how big this was.
Well, the 80s and the 90s were basically were the X-Men.
Yeah. It got to the point, and actually, when I was on the Sci-Fi Center, the host William said that it got to the point where, like, a lot of books at that time period were starting to put Y's or X's and Z's in the titles because they wanted to be placed next to X-Men in the off chance that when someone's picking up their X-Men books, they're like, "Oh, that looks interesting. Pick that up."
Like how they had Generation X, which was kind of like a Teen Titans X-Men book kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they kind of ran the synergy into the ground, but that's a topic for a different stream.
Yeah. Brown Destroyer asks, what was better, X-Men Evolution versus X-Men 97? I like Evolution a lot.
I'm with them. Like, both are good, but I think it comes down to personal preference. I don't.
It really does.
I don't think either one is objectively better. It's more like personal preference, and my personal preference is Evolution. Like, yes, I watched X-Men 97 as a kid. But Evolution is the one that I have fonder memories of.
That's true, and that's when you have a little bit more of a more recent like attachment to. So I can understand that. A Spider-Man continuation might be a while since they're still releasing the MCU Spider-Man prequel show. I still think they will do that because there's no because they're having the conversations right now, and there's no way that they're not going to continue. By the way, Wolverine and the X-Men, that's a good one, Galen, was actually like
that's after my time, so I have no nostalgia.
It was a decent show.
Well, Nick, wait, Nick. You're old enough that every X-Men thing is after your time.
Excuse me?
I had to. Go on, JJheat.
As I was saying, Wolverine, the X-Men, it was decent, but the Wolverine's oversaturation is what killed that show. Like, let's be honest.
I mean, if we don't want to talk about, like, what about the X-Men anime?
That was great. Now, I will say the best part about X-Men 97 is the little bit of hints they gave at Scott and Emma, and not Scott with the person that dies way too many times, Jean Grey.
Did you notice that, like, Emma is actually getting more prominent in the Flash?
Yep, they're gonna bring her in any moment in time.
I mean, it's very clear she has an updated character design. I think, yeah, I think you might like be onto something.
The moment she was included in the intro from the very first episode, I even rewinded. I was like, "Is that Emma? Ooh, we might get a little White Queen action."
I think it's very clear that so Scott married Mating Pryor and had a baby with Mating Pryor. This Jean that he's with, they don't have like they've been apart for a year, and there's gonna be some schism. Plus, it showed her kind of being attracted to Logan. I think what's gonna happen.
Here's the other thing: Jean could die because remember, this is the change that the show made with the Phoenix Saga. They didn't kill Jean Grey. I'm just saying, Nick, they could do that by hero mode.
Can we please not have Jean die every other episode? I swear, Jean Grey is the Krillin of the X-Men team.
No, I'm saying kill her and keep her dead because.
JJheat, did you appreciate? Did you like that?
Yeah,
I did.
And by hero mode, what that was because Marvel at the time did not have the movie rights to X-Men. They didn't want to do anything with the X-Men. So what they were trying to do is actually get rid of the X-Men completely and replace them with the Inhumans. And that was part of why we got the Inhuman show. The problem is the Inhuman show sucked.
Like literally the only Inhumans character that actually had a decent splash was Quake.
Yeah, exactly. It's you're doing it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And here's the thing. The Inhumans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they made them just like the X-Men. So it was like, nah, you don't. And then eventually they were like, when here's the thing, the fan base rejected it for many different reasons, but it's just because, hey, listen, we need everyone likes the X-Men. Stop trying to replace them. And the funny part is that if you're paying attention now, you notice how they made Kamala Khan a mutant instead of an Inhuman. So yeah, that's my point to Tavia. Now they're starting to like replace the Inhumans with the mutants. They even did a comic book called Death of the Inhumans, which was great, by the way.
To be fair, the original writer came out and said that she wanted to make her a mutant, but they forced her to make it an Inhuman. And plus, like the Kamala Khan stuff did come out right dead center in the Inhumans push. So like at first I kind of balked at it, but now I kind of believe it. Like that does seem rather plausible. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
That's good. I hated when they were trying to push the Inhumans as the new X-Men. Yeah, they even did a series called Inhumans versus the X-Men, where the Terrigen Mist that turns people into Inhumans. That, mind you, I believe they have had Inhumans that are mutants, so this makes no sense. But the Terrigen Mist all of a sudden is toxic to mutants and kills them. This was Cyclops' death. Yeah, this was Cyclops' death, and they later brought him back. Big surprise. But I'm just like, this is so dumb. Stop it.
Wait, was this around the time where you had young time-displaced Cyclops and he was on the Champions for a bit?
Yeah, that was that stupid time of X-Men. Ironically written by Bendis. Isn't that funny? All the really stupid decisions of late of comics have been from his runs.
And now we have to play the clip.
Yeah.
Why did you say that name?
That's the last time I'm gonna play it because I don't want to get a copyright thing. But yeah, Death of X-Men was bad, but all in all, still I really dig that. I'm still enjoying the show. I'm liking all the '90s reference. It was really cool. So all in all, okay. So let me go around. Nick, how do you rate the episode out of 10?
Like, I'm gonna be honest, it's a low point. This is like a 6.5 out of 10 for me. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's a low point.
Okay, JJheat, how about you?
I give it a 5 strictly because of the pacing as a whole. Because it's like rushing through the '90s greatest hits. The pacing is really holding this series back, even with the 2-season commission rule factor.
Yeah,
and reportedly they have a 3rd season in development.
See, the thing that is like, Inferno would have been honestly, the whole Jean Grey stuff. I wanted to see that as a season, like the whole who's the real Jean Grey going back and forth, and then like leading to the Inferno. Like, that would have been a really good season.
And Mr. Sinister, he only got like 2 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, that's a mistake because I'm like, Mr. Sinister is like an X-Men villain. He's like one of their main antagonists, particularly for this. Yeah, so I'm like, no. A hot take. I liked Wolverine the X-Men animated series. I liked it too. I thought it was really fun. So once I saw Arcade, it was out. So Dave says 8 out of 10. Tevia says 10 out of 10. No surprise. I give this probably a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed more of the stuff in here, but I do agree it's a mistake with all the pacing issues. Yeah, so I'm like,
Advisory just coming out of nowhere was kind of stupid.
By the way, do you know that in the comics right now, they actually, I believe they killed Beast off and someone else is going to become Beast?
No, okay, let me go ahead. I'll explain it. I was fan requested to start reading Marvel again, and a part of me regrets it. So apparently, for some reason, in a recent event, Beast turns evil. Then he's tragically killed off, and all said and done. So now they basically did a repeat of Time Displaced Cyclops.
Oh,
is it still Hank McCoy or is it Hannah McCoy now?
I don't even know anymore.
Because I would not put it past Marvel to have like a blue, hairy, big woman be like female Beast or whatever. Like, like,
Nick, stop before you get us demonetized, please.
Yeah. I was about to go in a pretty bad direction. So yeah.
I'm trying to see who is his own. Okay, so they're replacing him with a younger version of himself. It's still Hank McCoy. So I'm like, first off, the whole Krakoa resurrection thing is total BS because I don't care if people die now.
Oh, so now can we cuss on your show, or that's still strictly a rule?
BS is not a curse word.
Oh crap.
Yeah, Brown Destroyer, I do agree with you on this. Invincible is better. I am enjoying Invincible a lot more. I'll give you that.
I will give you that.
So, who do you think would win in a fight? Spider-Man or Agent Spider?
It's almost like they're the exact same character, but they had to be legally distinct for copyright reasons.
Thank you.
I get it. Sony didn't want to pay a licensing fee to Sony, but still.
No, I think on the TV side, Marvel owns the TV rights to Spider-Man.
Okay, I thought Sony still had the
Sony owns the movie rights, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
like that's why even during like the worst of the Sony stuff, you were still seeing Spider-Man on like Disney XD regularly.
Okay.
So I think that's a good place to leave this topic. What else do you guys want to talk about? So we have 4 topics. I want Teladia is going to be here later, or we could just jump into Nick positively reviewing the Marvels.
Can we get it over with?
I'll tell you what, I'll let the audience pick. So I'm going to read you the list of topics. So Nick is going to positively review the Marvels and then bash it, essentially, because he didn't do his April Fool's Day homework. I made him do it here. We could talk about Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Return of the Justice League. I'm going to talk about that more when Teladia shows up. So I'd rather save that one until Teladia comes back. Nitpicks.
I have my nitpicks.
Of course.
You have your Nick picks?
No, I'm not talking about, by the way, to be clear, JJheat, I'm not talking about season 1. I'm talking about the leaks that came out about the overall plan.
Okay, but let it be known the Joker content will be discussed.
Yeah, it will be, because I am very disappointed with that. But anyway, we're going to talk about Ultraman being the main villain of Superman, which
He did debunk it. He debunked it.
No, he didn't.
I thought
You're
he
paying
did.
attention to what he said. No. He was debunking that Ultraman is going to be the main villain of the movie.
Oh.
That was the only thing he said. And we're going to talk about Rebel Moon Part 2. So he didn't shoot down the fact. All right, you know what? Screw it. Let's talk about it. Okay, so for context, it came out that, so he debunked the whole Ultraman is going to be the main villain of Superman. So we're done with that. He said Lex Luthor is going to be the main villain. The problem is
Doomsday wasn't the main villain of BVS.
Yeah.
Not the point.
The problem is, okay. So
James Gunn's like, hey Zach, can I borrow your homework? Yeah, just make sure to change a few things so that people don't notice. And so James Gunn borrows the script for BVS.
But here's the thing. So what they're doing is, so they're cloning Superman. Instead of calling him Bizzarro, which is which, by the way, this is why I push back on the whole James Gunn is being comic accurate. And I'm like, no, he's not with this. Because he could have named the clone Bizzarro, but he called the clone Ultraman. To which I'm like, wait a second. In all of DC Comics, and JJheat, back me up on this, there's only one guy that's really called that's known for being called Ultraman, and he ain't a clone of Superman.
Granted, he's a doppelganger and he's been reincarnated multiple times, but that is not Ultraman's origin.
Also, this is this makes it so that he can't. He's gonna have a hard time releasing this in Japanese markets because Ultraman is one of the most popular characters in Japan.
And talk about two.
And by the way,
yeah, so like Ultraman is a hugely popular character. He is up there with Godzilla in terms of popularity. In fact, he might even be more popular than Godzilla.
Oh, he's definitely more popular than Godzilla in the Japanese market. I'll tell you that right now.
By the way, according to My Time to Shine, who is a leaker and again, rumors.
Great assault.
He said that, all right, Ultraman is in the movie for sure. Just saw the visual proof. Gunn does not make himself look good here with all the lies.
This has real. Benedict Cumberbatch is not playing Khan in Star Trek II Energy.
You
guys remember that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So for those who don't aware, Star Trek II Into Darkness is basically a remake of Wrath of Khan, pretty much. And before it, J.J. Abrams swore up and down that Benedict Cumberbatch was not playing Khan. Like, he swore up and down. He goes through the movie, my name is Khan. And the movie, it borrows lines, it switches things up. It is a Wrath of Khan remake.
But the other thing with this, Nick, is that it's not. He literally could have named the clone Bizzarro. Literally, but again, it's not that hard.
Let's play devil's advocate.
Heck. They can even, like, if you really want to make a good story, call him Connor, have him be evil, then have him turn good.
They could do because that was a storyline in Jeff Johns' Teen Titans where the Luthor DNA activates. But what do you want to say, JJheat?
Let's play devil's advocate.
Jared, chat, says that.
Oh yeah, I have to play it because Britt, my co-host for Super Wonder Lexi's in the chat, so I'll play her intro.
He's back.
So according to Britt, Gunn is gaslighting. Majority of leaks are true, though.
I will say this. Let's play devil's advocate.
And Tavia, they're not doing John Kent.
No, they're doing Chris Kent from the New 52.
Oh, imagine if they do John Kent. He was evil and
don't
gay.
Encourage him.
My god!
And Superman snaps his neck. They do another neck snap. Do even more copy Man of Steel.
Can I finish my point, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. But where was I? Oh yes. Okay, Bizzarro debuted in the Silver Age. So using Bizzarro for a movie villain is admittedly campy. But at the same time, don't pull a Superior Man from Red Sun, who's essentially that version of Bizzarro, and then he becomes more distorted and grotesque over the course of the film. And then if he does survive it, then he's called Bizzarro. And I'm just like, just call him Bizzarro from the start. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to do a mix of Batman v Superman's version of Doomsday with Superior Man from Red Sun. Let me tell you this. That is a bad idea.
But JJheat, here's the difference. He's labeling Bizzarro as an entirely different character.
Oh, I love Heroes. Can you highlight Hero Made podcast comment, please?
Watch Bizzarro beat Tom Welling.
No, I don't know. Do you not get, like, because here's the thing. Tom Welling actually played Ultraman. There was a couple episodes where he was Ultraman, and he was Ultraman.
He did.
Yeah, I think I saw that it's just going to be another David Corn sweat. Because remember, he had the whole cast do a table read, and there was and the only person that they added on there was Otis. It was just David Corn sweat. Which I'm like, this is so. I'm like, at least just call it Bizzarro. Why are you calling it Ultraman?
I mean, let's be honest. This is still better than Nuclear Man.
Even I have to admit that.
Destroy Superman now. Love that.
No. Here's what they're gonna do.
Takes out the long nails.
No, here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be Nicholas Cornsweat as Ultraman, but they're gonna dub in Nicholas Holt's voice as the main voice of the character.
As hype as I would be about that, I have to respond to Brown Destroyer's comment. You need way too much setup for Superboy Prime.
No. You cannot do Superboy Prime now.
Jared, imagine if they had Superboy Prime in like the Snyderverse, and that's how we got rid of it in the Snyderverse.
That would actually be really good.
I could actually see Zack Snyder doing that, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, because that's a character you don't have to worry about.
The slow-mo of his fist going and punching reality.
Or like the slow-mo of him tearing characters in half, because that's what Superboy Prime did. The Authority are already shown in the movie, and they're interdimensional traveling characters, making Ultraman a clone is stupid. Yeah, literally, they are. They travel dimensions. Yeah.
Jared, check the private chat.
Mark, I did. Mark my words, he did. Yeah, it's. Oh my gosh. Why can't we focus on one villain? Because here's why. I think that James Gunn was lying when he debunked the whole my movies being used to sell the DC brand to potential buyers. That's why. I'm fairly certain about that. Because guess what? Everything I'm seeing from this movie and Warner Bros. In general indicates a sale. So there you go. Trying to get Michael Rosenbaum as a guest on our podcast. Oh, that would be cool.
Best of luck on that, buddy. That is again. Best of luck.
That is again. Gunn is a one-trick pony. He only knows how to make team-focused movies. Yeah, that is a good point. And he made Peacemaker, and Peacemaker is kind of R-rated Guardian. So I guess there you go.
Well, that just means Gunn is good at making ensembles. Like even if you factor Peacemaker, even in the context of being the namesake of that show, Peacemaker still works within an ensemble. He's just the namesake. So, like I said, whether it be Guardians, the Marvel brand, the MCU, for better or for worse, Gunn is better at ensembles than he is at solo titles. It's basically the opposite of J.J. Abrams, who's good at solo titles, but he's terrible with ensembles or legacy projects.
True. I don't know, but Brit says Gunn is doing multiverse stuff to attempt to make this mess make more sense. But other than that, using Ultraman is closing the door on Earth 3 if that was a possibility. Yeah, you don't use the Ultraman name unless you're doing Earth 3.
Yeah, or you're doing some version of the Crime Syndicate or an actual evil Superman. Like having it be a clone. It's just stupid. Like if you're doing a clone Superman that's evil, there's so many routes you can take. Bizzarro, Connor, even John Kent, if you wanted to.
To a degree.
Make him evil and then kill him off. I would dig that. And maybe there's like Lois in the Carnage, but anyway.
Don't get your hopes up, Jared. She's iconic for a reason.
No. What happens is we see the Daily Planet Globe land hunter, and then her feet shrivel up like a Wicked Witch of the East.
I appreciate that reference, Nick.
There you go. So, yeah, it's the more I see about this, the more I'm like,
guns and damage control mode. Let's call it for what it is.
That's why you're gonna see a bunch of stuff start getting leaked because Gunn is trying to hype people up. And this is why I always say, whenever Gunn reveals something, if you notice, people talk about it for like a second or so, and then, or it pisses people off like this.
Meanwhile, Zack Snyder trends literally every day
for positive stuff. Gunn needs to hop on that Power Rangers movie reboot. If
please no,
movies.
Please
no,
no.
Look at Nick.
Wait, I got it. Didn't Disney with Star Wars already beat him to it a few years ago on The Mandalorian?
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, that was Book of Boba Fett.
Please remove JJheat from this stream.
So JJheat, you're telling me that Boba Fett needs some teenagers with attitude?
I regret nothing.
In adaptations of that could be a good. See, if you were doing that and his character was Ultraman, now here's what he could do. This is how he could salvage this as a plot to the actual movie. Ultraman is not really a clone. He tells people it's a clone, but he's been reaching into the multiverse. Even though for a first Superman movie, I want him to stay away from the freaking multiverse. Stop it.
I'm sorry, it's too much. It's too much. Like, this movie is already overpacked as it is.
Mm-hmm. Gunn should only make. I'm with Brown on this because Gunn's great at making obscure character movies. That's fine. That's what he's known for.
Okay, here's what Gunn needs to do. Here's the movie that Gunn needs to make. Ambush Bug.
Yeah.
Super meta. Have it be DC's version of Deadpool.
Gunn, that is like so like basically if DC wants their own Deadpool, have literally James Gunn is the perfect director.
Voiced by Ryan Reynolds. And by the way, they could make it as R-rated as they want because that's pretty much Ambush Bug. It's not like it's out of character for him to be that way.
Because Ambush Bug is basically DC's Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly. I do not want James Gunn touching Sandman.
No. He's not the right director for that.
No. It's not really a
Zack Snyder, on the other hand.
Yeah, Dave brings up a good point. Do you know what this movie really is? It's not Superman. You ready? It's Justice League. Because look at how many characters show up in this. What?
Jared, question. How would you feel if Zack Snyder made a Sandman movie?
I have never read Sandman, so I can't weigh in on that.
Justice
League
International.
Oh my God, James Gunn actually could do. I can see James Gunn doing
the Zoo Crew. There you go.
Oh,
too much pink energy is dangerous.
They do a Mystery Men reboot by James Gunn.
That's
perfect.
I could definitely see that. But all in all, it's like Sandman. It can't be handled with Neil Gaiman. I don't know what.
I mean, Neil Gaiman was heavily involved with the Netflix stuff, and look how that turned out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all in all, for this, it's a backdoor to Justice League and other setups. Yeah, exactly. Because here's the thing again. It's like it's supposed to be a Superman movie. And then his excuse for so many DC characters is, well, how else was I supposed to show? Like the superhero part of Superman as well as the other part of Superman. I'm like, Superman's that here's how I know he doesn't understand Superman. And I'm going to be that fan. Superman is that type of character where you don't have to bring in other characters to show Superman being Superman. That is a complete and utter BS reason for doing this.
Like, I get it. James Gunn wants a Superman in an already established DC world. Okay.
Well, you could still
do
that.
If you're doing that, you can't just like. But here's the thing: you can say like, "Oh, should we call them the Justice League?" Like, mention them, name drop them, like say they exist, but you don't have to show them. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I don't know.
BVS kind of fell into this trap with the LexCorp audio data files, but at least they were glorified cameos. They didn't hinder the plot in any way.
Yeah,
but like, look at how the MCU handled it. Like for example, in the Hulk, Shield existed. We're like, oh, we'll tap into Shield's resources.
Stark Industries. You can even show Wayne Industries on stuff. That's what Zach did in Man of Steel.
Or like an Iron Man 1 where they just randomly threw in Cap's shield. Or like just the hints at the wider
it's
world.
Iron Man 2, but by the way. And also
no, it was in Iron Man 1.
No, the shield.
No, it's in Iron Man 1.
Where is it in Iron Man 1?
It's in Iron Man 1. I think when he's like trying to get off his thing, you can actually see it in the background.
I don't remember that. But anyway, Zach did this with Man of Steel because when Zod is fighting Superman and they get launched into satellites, it says Wayne Tech. And Zach said, I did that, so it's a larger universe. Exactly. It's like the Tomorrowverse of doing stuff off screen.
I will say this, other than the Crisis stuff and whether or not the DCU even goes forward, assuming Zaslav cuts his losses and sells Warner Brothers, the Tomorrowverse was just a series of transition projects just to meet their quotas and just go ahead and continue the animation line. I say, no, I'm not the biggest fan of the Dikamu. I will openly admit this, but you could have kept the Dikamu going for at least... Okay, we could have kept the Dikamu going for at least another year if we were just going off job security and trying to buy time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the thing is, the shield in Iron Man 1 was it was literally just like lay there, and it was like kind of in the background for people to notice. It was one of those like background details.
And Brown says, I saw a Twitter post that someone was saying Gunn can only make a Lego Justice League movie.
I wouldn't even trust
that's
him
just
with
mean.
that, to be honest.
That's just mean to Legos. What did James Gunn do to them?
I'm like, you see where his priorities are when the first animated project for DC Studios is Jurassic League.
That is so stupid.
I'm like, what? You literally had a Batman Beyond animated movie by the guys that did Spider-Verse, because you can use that in the marketing from the team that brought you Spider-Verse. People show up for that.
Did you hear the rumors? Like Deadline was reporting that like they might actually be moving forward the Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton. I saw it on Facebook.
Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, man. It's probably one of those like really stupid things, but dear God, I wish we had gotten that Lord and Miller Batman Beyond movie. That would have been so awesome.
I'd be so cool with that. So
I will say this. Last thing, I will say this. Warner Brothers, regardless of whether Zaslav cuts his losses or not, Warner Brothers Discovery needs to make money. So having a run-of-the-mill, quote-unquote, kids project with Jurassic League is, at least from a business standpoint, a safer bet than a nostalgia vamp with a Batman Beyond movie. If it's not in the DCAU style, you're not going to have the same impact.
I disagree. I disagree because parents are usually the like what kid would really be interested because they have no connection. Like, okay, they like dinosaurs, but like there's tons of other dinosaur content, and like okay, like it's just, and the parents themselves, I don't know. I just feel like it's way too obscure, and it's kind of a DOA project in my opinion.
I'm convinced. Here's the thing. James Gunn is just announcing this stuff to show, no, I have plans. See, I have plans. I have tons of stuff happening. That's why I guarantee you, if let's say Warner Brothers is sold, and
it's a matter of it's not a matter of if, but
it's
when.
sold. So let's say it's sold. So after Warner Brothers is sold, you're gonna if they don't outright cancel a lot of Gunn's plans. What I think they'll do, or like this is Superman will probably come out, and then they'll just say,
"Yeah, it's too far along."
Yeah, so Superman will definitely be coming out, or what they'll probably do, you'll start seeing a bunch of these like Creature Commanders will already be out. You'll start seeing like, I would imagine like Booster Gold, Swamp Thing, a lot of these really obscure, The Authority. These movies quietly be shelved and canceled.
Well, I think the next year is going to be really interesting. Because either Universal or Comcast is going to buy Warner Brothers, and whoever buys it, here's what I predict is going to happen. So a year from now, please go back to the stream, and if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think what's going to happen is whoever buys it is going to cancel all the projects, and Superman Legacy is going to be a one-off project. It's going to be one and done. Also, can you imagine the irony where like, oh yeah, we're not doing this universe, but we're releasing it. Like, basically, they do to Gunn what Gunn did to...
You're going to hear, I guarantee you'll see a hashtag pop up that says restore the Gunverse. I guarantee that.
Oh, they'll try. I'm sure people will try, but
they'll try. But here's the thing: Gunn doesn't trend as much as Snyder does.
Well, the thing is, outside of the bots that TD like Master TDS has been uncovering, I don't see anyone else really pushing it.
No, they're not. So that's the thing. So basically, Black Adam all over again. Yeah, probably. And then what they'll probably do, what they could probably do. This is when I'm gonna jump on the sell to Netflix train, because I've always said this was my assertion when Gunn, before they named Gunn and they did the whole reboot. I always said that while they're formulating their plans, release the Snyder stuff as a delaying tactic, so you can still get content out there. So that way, hey, we wrapped up that story fine by the time we have our whole universe all set up. What's up, JJheat?
And I will say this, although that is a very solid strategy, even for someone who's technically not a business major, I
was a political science major.
I was referring to myself. I had a business.
Okay.
I had a minor in business. But
JJheat, it's okay, JJheat. You're allowed to flex. You're allowed to flex your big braid. It's okay.
As I was saying,
so Jared definitely does not do the Superman workout. We get
it.
Just for that, we're doing the Marvels topic right after this.
Universal is the most likely because of all the brand recognition, the theme parks. You have a lot, and it would be a good get back at
energy
for not doing a Hulk movie, because technically the main reason they push Hulk to the background is because they didn't want to collab with Universal for the license.
I mean, I've said this a couple times on stream. Imagine, we have a Nix in the chat. But imagine a land in Universal Studios that is Gotham and Metropolis themed.
I'm telling you, and by the way, Teladia's here, so we can all be here for when Nick reads the Marvels. So we're just talking about Ultraman and how stupid it is, but we're just about to transition to Nick talk about the Marvels. So real quick, Teladia, while I have you here, your brief thoughts on this.
Well, James Gunn picked and choose on the way he worded it today about Ultraman.
All he said is he's not going to be the main villain. He didn't debunk the Ultraman part.
It's Superman 4 redone.
And that's always a good idea to watch. It's not an homage to Superman 78. It's an homage to Superman 4.
It's like Teladia. I was saying earlier, what they're gonna do is it's gonna be the actor, but they're gonna dub in Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor as a voice.
Are you kidding me?
Destroy Superman now. Here's gonna be the Superman fan base if this ends up being a tribute to Superman 4. You ready?
Oh no, there'll be riots in the
Oh yeah. There'll be burning stuff. So anyway, so let's transition. So for those that don't know, the way we do this is for 5 minutes. Nick has to
wait. Before you do this, let me slip into something more comfortable. If I'm gonna do this, I got to do it right.
So
this is too good.
So what we're gonna do?
Well, I'm getting my Valley Girl voice ready.
Yeah, so the way this works is that for 5 minutes, Nick has to speak its praise, act like it's the greatest movie ever. In other words, by the way, Daniel RPK already implied it's like Superman 4. So, no. So this just keeps getting better and better. So the way it's going to work for 5 minutes, and Nick is going to sing the praises of the Marvels. He has to make it sound like we're
the bestest thing ever.
No,
it's like
you have to make us believe. No, make us believe that we're misogynist if we don't like the movie. You got to go that far.
I'll make you believe that a woman can fly.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then what I'll do is I'll go like this, and then when this happens, that means start wrapping up because you have a minute left. All right.
No. When's the transition period? I need a transition.
I'll start counting down, and we'll do 10, 9, 8, and then when I get to 1, I'll say, "Now, Nick, how do you really feel about the Marvels?"
No. Here's what I want to do. Just give me when it gets down to 5. Do the fingers, and then I will transition on my own.
Automatically. That's better. I like that one. Okay,
and Dave,
so
I will give you points for honesty.
All right, there you go. So we'll start with that. And Teladia, no, we have not. I waited for you, my friend. All
Okay,
right,
cool.
are you ready?
Marty was not able to start until you got here.
Nick's. Here we go. All right.
Oh my god.
By the way, I just want to enjoy this because remember, Nick made me watch Blank Man, so I'm gonna revel in this. Ha 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 ha! How does it feel?
When you treat me like you do.
3, 2, 1, go.
Well, you see, because I just have to say, this is like the best movie ever. It's like the sequel to like the most empowering feminist movie ever. I loved how they had to like work together as a team, and you had such a diverse cast. You had the Muslim girl that like everyone likes. You had the bitchy white girl that like no one likes. We pretend we all do.
PG.
And we have the black girl who everyone loves, but people try to pretend they don't like. I don't know why, but like Rambeau's like the best part of this movie. Go girl power.
This is great. I'm enjoying this.
And it's like the best part. Like I absolutely love the cats in this movie. Like I love how the white girl is such a cat person, and it's like they even did like literally hurting cats, and they said it to cats. Cats. I love this movie. And I love how it just they puke hairballs everywhere. It's just so awesome. And like that time, like you know that time there's that like the sequence in the movie where she goes back and she's actually like a Disney princess. Captain Marvel's a Disney princess. Oh my god! And like they sing in song for some reason. It's like a musical. And they dance and then like and then at the end of the scene, they find out the prince is quote unquote bilingual, and they could have talked to him all the time, but that's okay. We got a really good musical out of this. It doesn't matter. They could have just skipped the entire thing and just talked to him. No, we got a musical out of it. And like her outfit became a dress, a Captain Marvel dress. I am so wearing that to my adult prom tomorrow. His prom is awesome. And the family, they were so great. I know some people call them annoying and like unnecessary, but I don't care. Diversity, and it's like, you know, it's like, and I don't care that the wife that was married to the brother is nowhere in the series. I don't care. Diversity. It's like I don't care if Captain Marvel's character arc is as flat as their chest. I do not care. Diversity. This film is just so great. Like it could have aired on the CW and probably would have been the best thing ever. And I love like how she can only like how she can only use how Ms. Marvel can only use her powers as a bracelet, except for that one time they were in space and she didn't have the bracelets and like you know, but that was so great. It was like the best movie ever. Like who cares about logic? Diversity.
Keep going. You're almost there, Nick.
And it's like this, everything is just so convenient. It's like they have like a society that can just make clothes. And they have new outfits, and it's like I love how like they have like the conflict between Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel. Like it totally makes sense. Everybody, diversity. And just I love how you had like that subplot with like the eggs, and I fucking hate that like
PG Nick.
I freaking hate that like the subplot with the eggs. Like it's obvious Goose was pregnant. It was obvious what happened. Had nothing to do with the movie. Like come on. Like what the heck? The movie was meh at best, but it had some glaring inconsistencies. The villain was stupid. Everything was stupid. Jared, you're stupid for making me watch this.
I got stupider for watching Blank Man, dude.
Wait. Let the anger flow through you. Hate anger leads to hate. Hate.
There you
suffering.
go.
Tevia wants to ask, how do you feel, Nick, about the Supreme Intelligence being wasted?
I mean, that was the last movie, and the fact that they called the Supreme Intelligence Marvel. Like,
I remember they gender bent Mar dash Vel. I don't think she acted good. Yeah, she won an award for her acting before. It goes to show work credentials. Brie Larson is not that good of an actress. I contend.
I'm sorry, Brie's acting in this movie was flatter than her chest.
Yeah,
B tier
Nick
at
says,
best, and that's me being generous.
Monica Rambeau was a great character in the comics and did not deserve this. Yeah, Monica Rambeau was fantastic. And
like Ms. Marvel, like honestly, the other two were fine. Like Ms. Marvel was I loved her. I love that lady. And
arguably saving grace of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the whole like, oh, she's in the X-Men universe now. It's so stupid.
Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny. The common factor around the dislike of the Captain Marvel movies is Brie Larson. Isn't that funny how that works out?
I gotta say, the actress, she forever earned my respect when she was like, "No, Kevin Feige, it's not 616."
She's
like,
correcting Kevin Feige.
Like, I'm sorry, she earned my eternal respect, and that's the thing I like, and also like, I just gotta say this: the shoehorning in of Young Avengers, like something that is obviously never going to be paid off. I'm sorry, like that idea is not gonna.
Oh no, that's dead in the water. That's like, yeah, that's dead.
The only thing that makes it worse for me is that like the comic book like people who talk about Marvel stuff, they've been pushing Young Avengers for like 10 plus years, and I'm freaking sick and tired of it.
I don't want that. That. Why would we go and they want to replace the older Avengers that everyone knows and cares about? I'm like, no, that's not
all new, all different. We've been down.
I will say, I think they have done a really good job of having Elena be a replacement for Black Widow because it turns out Yelena's actually a really fun character and I like her.
Yeah, I love her interactions in Hawkeye with Kate. That was great.
Nothing against White Widow. Nothing against her.
Yeah. So, Nick, how do you rate this movie?
I rate it probably 12.
How do you really
no, movie, Nick? 12 head bashes against the wall out of 10. As in, I want to bash my head. No. As in, I want to bash my head against the wall 12 times so I could hopefully forget everything about this movie.
This movie also lost Marvel over like $300 million. But yeah, you can see that. Now, Nick, where does this rank with the first Captain Marvel movie?
I would say it's an improvement.
Not by much.
Not by much. But
I think the addition of like having the other two characters who are vastly more interesting actually does help the movie. And I think actually like having the movie actually kind of like have it actually do something to do in the movie, and like the conflict between the three of them is actually kind of decent. Like I don't know. It's just the first movie is just so egregiously bad. It's just this one actually I feel like they kind of were trying. Like it's basically a CW TV movie.
Only
that's an insult to CW TV movies.
Yeah,
it's basically like good, basically. I would rate it Legends. I would rate it like Legends of Tomorrow quality.
Oh boy. Now we have two more topics. So now that Teladia is here, I guess we'll transition over to Suicide Squad. So the leaker Miller Ross, and by the way, I believe he's going to be on your channel soon.
Yes,
right,
he is.
Claudia? Sweet.
Yes, Miller Ross is going to be on my channel. Yes.
He so what he said today, what's kind of funny because he popped up in my chat today. He also said if WB does not like leaks, they're gonna hate me in like a couple of hours. So he basically leaked the plan with Suicide Squad. So we're gonna read it, and I ask, allow me to read the full plan before we start jumping in. Okay.
So save my hell nos for the end.
Yeah, save it for all hell nods, because the way I want to structure this is that me and Teladia briefly discuss it, then I'll open it up because Teladia and I are the Suicide Squad players. So
we're the players.
According to
wait before you start reading Nick's comment.
Yeah, the bar is so low we're climbing to the center of the earth.
We're the ones. You're the twos.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So multiple sources at Rocksteady tell me that Kevin Conroy recorded dialogue for Kill the Justice League's post-launch campaign before his passing, which we figured. So Batman returns to Metropolis in Suicide Squad's upcoming 4th season after being rescued from a medieval-themed Elseworlds of supervillain Brainiac designs, joining the Flash and Green Lantern as the Justice League continues to reform following the events of the game's campaign. Season 4 of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is currently slated to commence in January of 2025. The season also brings Deathstroke into the fray as a playable character who is of two minds about rescuing the man who humiliated him in 2015's Arkham Knight. So that might actually be really cool. So the story concludes in the game's 5th season when the reassembled Justice League joins forces with Argus to end Brainiac's multiversal reign of terror. Sources told me that this will likely serve as the game's finale, with the recent season 1 doing little to reignite sales. So what that tells me is a little more context. They're retconning that before you recruited him, Deathstroke has been traveling through the multiverse just killing Brainiac. Because you know how originally at the end of the game, they said 13 Brainiacs. So they're like, no, we have, because I think WB probably told them, just bring back the Justice League so we can make a Justice League game. So they're like, just give us this time, we can do that, and then you can end it. That's why I think he brought up the season 1 underperforming, because I think season 1 was like, after what happened with season 1, they were like, shorten the plan, you're done in 2025, because it says here season 4 is 2025. Yeah, it's going to be in 2020. And so in other words, this game only has like a year or so left, which we knew that anyway.
We knew it.
Wait. It's Teladia first, because he was talking first. What's up?
So I'll say this, right? We knew that it was going to have a year of support, because the fact is, like, because I knew from day one that, yeah, it's a live service game. Yes, it's a shooter-based game. The Arkham fan base didn't like it from day one. Reviewers bombed it. So I knew straight away.
Okay, reviewers didn't bomb it. They gave it bad reviews. Can you please stop saying, oh, the review bombed it?
Nick, please don't interrupt. Continuing on, Teladia.
So as I was saying, so they reviewed it, gave it bad reviews, and essentially, what happened is after that, I'm reckoning Warner Brothers probably said to Rocksteady, look, finish your season, DLC, finish the seasons off. Then after that, you can work on some, you can continue on working on something else, which you've been working on from 2018, 2019, right? I reckon that might be the case, because like the way I see it is like Warner Brothers, Rocksteady right now, they need to have a win after Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And the best solution for that is to redeem themselves by making a Justice League game, or doing a Superman game, or doing a Flash game, or something along the lines of that. That way you redeem the fan base. I know they can't go back and do Batman because they were burnt out on Batman. Sefton Hill straight up said
I mean, they could if they wanted to.
I mean, Sefton Hill came out and straight up said in an interview, we're literally done with Batman. We're kind of burnt out on it, on the IP anyway. So it's like they really can't go back and do Batman. And with Kevin Conroy's passing, it's like, okay, but the only thing that logically makes sense is to do a Justice League game and kind of have like the story of Wonder Woman re-emerging, as Jared said to me in DMs, like the way they could do it is reintroducing Wonder Woman into the Justice League as she's reborn as a new person.
Well, what I saw like a couple of months.
Are you going to allow me to talk?
Let me say this one thing, and then you can jump in. So what I remember reading on Twitter was that what was going to happen with Wonder Woman is that, so with Themyscira, there's this thing called the Well of Souls, and this is straight from the Wonder Woman comic. So she's going to regenerate there and then come back. Here's the thing. Ultimately, when you get like with Wonder Woman, particularly with her being the daughter of Zeus, I guarantee you she didn't die. They just brought her soul up to Olympus, and then they'll just send her back. So it's easier than people think to bring back Wonder Woman. But anyway, so Nick, go ahead.
Okay, first off, I think we need to just come to accept the fact that this game is a failure. Okay, I get that you guys like it.
We all came to effect on that.
And the thing is, trying to like the zombified corpse of the Arkhamverse is just not a good idea. If they want to move forward, they need to completely reboot. Okay, they need to start fresh. Just like have this be the last game in the Arkhamverse, and then just like start out fresh. Because if they do a Justice League game, they're gonna have to recast Kevin Conroy because they're not gonna do a Justice League game without Batman.
Yeah.
And so if you're gonna have to recast Batman, what's the point of even keeping it in the Arkhamverse? Just restart fresh. All this baggage you have from the Arkhamverse is gone. And secondly, when Kevin Conroy died, and the whole like the gunshot, like his death thing, they said, oh, he's gonna be in Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was later debunked to be a lie, and then on Batman the Caped Crusader. They never mentioned.
No,
they recorded lines.
Batman.
Prove it.
Nick. Batman. It was the Caped Crusader that they debunked. He's gonna be in Crisis with Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Yeah.
Mark Hamill said he never remembers recording any lines for that. He did come out and say that.
Let me look that up real quick because it could be I missed that. So it could be just I missed that.
My point is they never mentioned that he had actually recorded lines when this whole they could have shut down this controversy down real freaking quick if they had revealed that Kevin Conroy had recorded lines. I just find it funny that they keep drip feeding us. I'm going to say this. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on and say they might be doing AI for Kevin Conroy. I have nothing to back it up. It's just a suspicion. It is a conspiracy theory. I could very well be wrong.
I disagree with that because
that is perfectly fine.
Let me finish. So I think the issue here with Suicide Squad is that this is one thing I don't think they should have had to say anything about it because first off, when you play the game, they make it obvious the Justice League are coming back. They even spelled it out. He is returning with Batman. So beyond that, but it's like when they said they had months, like roughly a year or so, right, Teladia, of content saved up, and they made it pretty obvious they're going to bring back the Justice League. They would have had to record stuff with Kevin Conroy for other stuff. What I think is people got a little too pissy, and before they even saw any of this stuff, they were like, "Oh, this sucks." They killed Batman.
And the scene itself is incredibly disrespectful. Yeah. That's an objective fact.
Subjective, Nick. That's a subjective fact.
But it's also highly convenient that after the whole thing came out, that's when they revealed that he did other voices. They waited till after that, which is terribly convenient. Well,
remember, Rocksteady hasn't announced it yet. Rocksteady never really made a statement. It was a leaker that made that statement.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is. The scene itself is incredibly disrespectful to Batman, and the way they killed him off just to revive him, it even it not only does it cheapen his death, it cheapens that. Why go through all that song and dance of disrespecting Batman in such a manner, only to bring him back? It is incredibly lazy.
Because here's why. They're not going to permanently kill the Justice League.
Then why bother even killing them if you're just going to bring them back 2 seasons later? I'm saying it is lazy writing.
Me and Jared talked about this before on my podcast on Into the Multiverse. We say it was a Justice League. It was not the Justice League.
That's even that's more. This is
let him cook.
Make it worse.
Let him, Nick. Let Teladia finish. I know you're upset about Suicide Squad, but you have to let Teladia finish.
So, from what I was saying is yes, the title says "Kill the Justice League," but it was a marketing scheme. That's what Rocksteady was doing. It was a marketing thing. It did upset people. Yes,
and that excuses it how? Because the way I see it, that just makes the situation even worse. Because now we have it's multiverse. Oh, well, they just go and get their variant. Oh, who cares if we kill a character? Multiverse. You saying that
DC really... though, that's the thing. That's the DC environment because that's why no one dies or comes back. That's why when people die in comics, they're back almost immediately.
Doesn't mean I like it. Doesn't mean it's not lazy.
Yeah.
Case in point, Superman. They had to kill them off, put him back because of sales.
Again,
many times.
I think killing a character only to bring him back, even in the Snyder Cut, I thought it was not like kill a character and bring him back literally the next movie. I thought was kind of stupid, you know.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's like, so the only thing that I will say on this is that, yeah, that's fine. We can debate on if that's seen as disrespectful or not. The thing about it is, and yes, it is lazy, but the way I always chalk that up is like, that's just comic book superhero characters. That's just the way it works in this genre, because particularly when they're involving the Justice League. And yes, Teladia's right. It was a marketing scheme when they were like, yeah, we're just going to kill the
and it was a stupid one. Like,
I acknowledge that, Nick. Let me finish. Oh. Did I lose? Okay, I lost my train of thought. What did you want to say, Nick?
I get what you're saying, but it's stupid. Like death is like the whole death is like people were caught like the death of Superman was controversial. Like they killed him and brought it back. Yes, I get it's a marketing stunt, but it's a very poorly done one. And the fact is, they made a game people didn't want. People didn't want a looter shooter. Yeah, like they wanted an Arkham style game. Like the type of, like people don't want looter shooters anymore. The fact and I'm just gonna say, I personally believe they won't make it to season 5. I think at some point they're just gonna cut their losses and can it by the end of the year. I could be wrong at that. I'm not saying that's what I think is gonna happen, but I could very well be wrong.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to say, JJheat?
Heat man.
JJheat, you were
Hello?
muted.
Hello? Can y'all hear me now?
And now we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. As I'm gonna say is, yes, the looter shooter trend is all but fallen off, if not completely dead. Let me refute that first and foremost. Second of all, is the scene disrespectful? Depends on, is that just a subjective opinion at this point? How disrespectful? Again, a topic for a different screen. But even if we factored all of that, will I say Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was dead on arrival? There was only one way you could really do this type of game justice, and that's still have it titled Justice League for the sake of marketing, but have it be the crime syndicate posing while pretending to be the Justice League wreaking havoc while the League are captured or off-world somewhere, similar to Forever Evil. Yeah, it's a bait and switch, but it's one that's easier to digest.
I think.
How do you know that's not the plan, though?
Please.
The Brainiac reskins for one, and the fact that you have to grind all over again to get the Joker DLC or buy him for $10.
Yeah, that was stupid. That's why I'm like they probably shortened it, because
to go off of what JJheat says.
Yeah,
I think in a previous stream, I think I actually like basically made that exact same argument. So great minds think alike, JJheat. About like the crime syndicate masquerading, like that actually would have made like some sort of sense. You know, Jared, do you remember like us talking about that?
Yeah, I do. I remember that.
So like, yeah, JJheat, great minds think alike, brother.
But how do you know they're not going to like reveal it was the crime syndicate the entire time? Because they're going to because they established in the game that Brainiac has taken over the Justice League or their stand-ins in the case of
I highly doubt that was their original plan. Will they make a last minute retcon? Maybe.
Plausible. Very plausible.
It's very plausible they might like make a last minute retcon to try and save it. And if they do, I will reevaluate at see how they do that. But I strongly believe that was not their intention, and may not even be their intention at this point. The game they developed is like very clearly that was not the intention, based off of what I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. But
I mean,
go ahead, Teladia.
So I was gonna say that, like, I still think that what Rocksteady will do next is a Justice League game. I think that might be the case. I think that with everything that's going on at WB Games, and especially with them saying we're going to double down on it, I think they will backtrack on the fact that live service elements, and they'll just say, look, we're not going to do live service anymore, because they'll see that, look, it just didn't work with Suicide Squad. It's not going to work with the next Hogwarts game, and it's not going to work with
Woman. Well, the other thing, Teladia, David
Yeah.
Zaslav probably won't be in charge of Warner Brothers.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
here's a question for everyone. Okay,
go on.
let's pretend they just do a straight out reboot, like they start fresh, which I think is I personally think is the best direction. Let's pretend. What type of game, like Justice League game, do you think they should do? Because I don't think they should do a looter shooter even without it. Like, honestly, I think an Overwatch style.
Do you mean
game,
story? Do you mean story wise?
No, I'm not. I am very against a Overwatch style game for the Justice League.
I have a very good idea.
They should probably just do a essentially just a story driven game with the Justice League, not a looter shooter. Which first off, you can't do.
I have an idea.
Can I finish my thought?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think that you can't do a shooter in the looter shooter with Superman made with heat vision, but you can't do it with like Wonder Woman or the Flash, who literally don't have anything that are guns.
No. What you do is with the hero shooters, some characters have melee options. Like even in Overwatch, like Reinhardt, he has like his hammer, and like Genji has his sword. So you can do it to where like let's say Wonder Woman. Okay, Wonder Woman has her whip, she has her sword, her shield. The Flash, he has like different like maneuvers, like the infinite punch. Teladia, go ahead.
So I was gonna say that I was gonna ask two questions. First thing is, were you talking about story elements? Because if I was gonna do a story elements, I would have done Justice League War. That's the adaptation I would take, bring it into the video game realm, right?
Well,
fair enough. I was more referring to like game mechanics, like the genre.
Oh, okay.
The other idea, and I think Jared would like this, maybe do like a 4-player Diablo style, like Justice League Heroes.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't, because if it's Rocksteady, they should just at that point. I think what they should do, take elements from like Gotham Knights in terms of the co-op, and then just abandon all of the like gear score and all that stuff, and just make a straight up 4-player co-op Justice League game.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I think a Justice League game in the style of Avengers, but because like I feel like if you take out the live service elements and just have like a story based game where you kind of play as like different characters throughout the story, that actually has the potential.
Yeah,
I think Avengers could have worked. It's just a shoehorn in the live service, and if you do that with Justice League and you get Amy Hennig to do it, I think it has potential. Like,
and Dave,
I have a feeling the new Captain America game is gonna light people on fire.
And Dave, they're not gonna shut down Rocksteady.
They're not gonna close down Rocksteady, because Rocksteady is too much of a asset to them.
They'll probably change leadership 100%. I could see them changing the leadership, but they're not going to shut down the studio. Anyone telling you that is very alarmist right now.
Oh, the other thing, they should get Avalanche Studios to do a second Arkham Origins game.
Wait, Avalanche Studios?
Yeah, the Harry Potter Legacy people.
Oh, you mean the Hogwarts Legacy guys? No, they're strictly working on Harry Potter stuff.
Either that or WB Montreal, because I feel like doing a second Arkham Origins, because you can just have the Arkham Origins voice actor, and it's like another prequel. That could work.
No, yeah, but here's the thing: the fan base will reject that, because like, why we need another prequel? We know it's going to get the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, they'll reject it immediately. Yeah, even though Batman sells. Yes, Batman does
Nick,
sell.
to be clear, it's a good idea. I'm just saying this is how the fan base will go, because like, why are you doing a fan? Because I see it all the time in the comics where they're like, why are you telling us a prequel if we know where the story is going?
Well, the other idea is to do an Arkham style game, not call it Arkham, have it be a spiritual successor to Arkham, so that way not be in the continuity, but it's like an Arkham style game starring Batman. You're not in Arkham, but it's like, it's a similar gameplay style. made by WB Montreal. You don't call it Arkham,
Yeah,
but you call it Batman something. That actually might work. That might work. Because not calling it Arkham is you're basically actually have... Dave has a really good one.
But here's the problem with that. You also have people that are like, why do we keep only getting Batman games? Why can't we get like other character games?
Because Batman sells, that's why.
Other characters' games can sell. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Superman would sell, Wonder Woman would sell. So,
like, I guarantee you, if Rocksteady had come out with like an Arkham 5 with Kevin Conroy, it would have sold 1 million copies in the first week. I guarantee.
Well, actually, did you guys see this? That there was a canceled Batman game that was going to be set in the Nolan verse?
Yes, I did.
I had heard rumors of that. Yes.
Yeah.
I just had a great idea. Batman Arkham Beyond.
They're not going to make another Batman game, dude. They just told you they're burnt out on Arkham, on Batman.
No, a Batman Beyond game, but set in the Arkhamverse.
Yeah, but who would develop it?
WB Montreal.
No. You can't just depend on one studio to be like, oh.
See, when was this supposed to come out? Because I think the Dark Knight game is what it eventually became Arkham Asylum.
So this was in between the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises. This is the
game that became Arkham Asylum, because I know at this point they were developing a Dark Knight game. Then they released Arkham Asylum.
Hey Ruth.
Ruth.
And no, this was a different game. This game was essentially Monolith Productions' Batman game that turned into Shadow of Mordor, because they had the Nemesis system already built into this game. The reason why this game didn't go ahead was because first they needed the approval from Christopher Nolan, and the second thing is Warner Brothers did not want to compete with two Batman games against each other. So it's like I'm just like, why isn't Warner Brothers taking advantage of this stuff? You know,
because Arkham Asylum was like literally the biggest thing ever. Like Arkham Asylum is to 2009 what Spider-Man 2018 is the current day. Like Arkham Asylum and Spider-Man 2018 are literally on the same level in terms of impact.
Yeah, no, I don't want more with the Christopher Reeves Superman game. Please don't.
No, they're not going to do that.
The city can be a health bar.
So, but the way I see it is like, yes, Batman sells, but there's a point where you have to stop at one point stop making Batman games.
Because here's the thing, eventually
people will get tired of it.
Because now you have the studios getting burnt out on Batman. The fans are going to get burnt out on Batman eventually, particularly when you have DC characters other than Batman.
Yeah.
See, I agree with you, but here's the problem. And Teladia said it best. Rocksteady needs a win, okay?
Yeah.
They are not in a position to take risks, okay? Suicide Squad is a risk, and in my opinion, it failed. I'm just saying my opinion. So they need a surefire win, aka Batman. I'm not saying they need to make another Arkham game. How do you know it's
going to be a surefire win, though, nowadays?
Yeah. How are you going to know if that's going to win? Because, like, here's the thing, though. If they do another Batman game with Rocksteady, people will say, look, well, it's not Kevin Conroy, and they'll compare it. That's the thing. The fans
no, what I'm saying is a Batman game is a lot more likely than a Superman game. Like, I'm saying maybe a Justice League game is also a good route, and that's probably what they're gonna do and Batman can be in there.
No Brown Destroyer. No, that's.
I think they're gonna do a Justice League game. I think that's probably the most likely route, because then you can still have Batman there and you have everyone.
And you can still have like co-op but again, I think that number one, in the case of the sale, I can't see the new executive coming in saying we're going to keep live service games. No, I think they're going to undo that.
They're going to backtrack on that.
Because they saw Hogwarts Legacy, man, was not a live service game, no matter what the head of WB Gaming
best-selling game of 2023
was not a live service game. So what they're probably going to do, 4-player co-op. a Justice League game. And what they can do, they don't have to limit it to just 4 Justice League characters. What they could do is make it so you can swap in and out. So take that element of from like Ultimate Alliance and such. So they can give you a roster of characters.
My argument though is after this, they're going to want to do something like that safe and more of a surefire hit.
Yeah, and
that's my argument. So they're not going to be more willing to take risks. So like Justice League, sure, Batman, but nothing beyond that.
I mean,
Superman probably, because that's the one consistent thing I see people call for is a Superman game.
Exactly. And I think, from my knowledge, me talking to sources, me talking to people that I know, they've been going through it and they've been, they think that a Superman game is in development. I've been speaking to different people and they think that it's in development. I asked Casey Walsh, I've asked so many different people, DM them, and I've said, look, do you know any information? They're like, yeah, I've heard it's a flying character for WB Games Montreal. Rocksteady, on the other hand, they have to do something different. They can't just go back and do Batman, because the fact is, if they go back and do Batman, yes, it will sell, but to the point where the majority of the Arkham fan base will just be like, oh, well, it's no Kevin Conroy. They'll compare it to they'll compare. You see, they'll compare the voice actor, and furthermore, yes, they'll hate it at one point, and then let's say a few years later they'll like it.
That's why. Okay.
Case in point, Arkham Origins was
Teladia.
Teladia,
you've convinced me. I've changed my mind. Batman, I agree with you. Batman might not be the best. Like, I think a Justice League game is probably the best, and that's where we'll get used to the new Batman voice. Because I think it's in the context of a Justice League game, it'll soften the blow.
Yeah.
Plus, here's the thing: what they could do, and Brown Destroyer, you wash your mouth out with soap, son. But I think what they could do, they could bring back like
a Lois Lane and Steve Trevor game. That's gonna be game of the year right there.
No, I got a better one.
Hang on.
I got a better one. Gary, look what I put in the chat.
Zois game. I like that. General Zod and Lois. That'd be great. By the way, I'm going to say this on stream. Britt, send me a DM. And Britt, if you're still in here, you can comment on that. Someone commented on Twitter that they saw a Super Wonder shipper calling for Lois to be with General Zod. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's working.
We made it.
I made a thing, Nick. I made a thing.
Jared, you need that clip from episode 1 where Anakin's going, it's working.
I do need that. But yeah, so yeah, and plus what they could do, because they could send the Arkhamverse after Suicide Squad, particularly if they bring back the League, and then just bring in someone else to play Batman, because they could always bring in Bruce Greenwood, bring in someone that sounds as close to Kevin Conroy as you can get to ease in the transition, is what I would say.
I'm sorry. I fully believe that they never should have brought back the Arkhamverse, because what do you gain by setting Arkhamverse? There's so much baggage.
Marketing.
That's why.
But it's more trouble than it's worth, because there's so much baggage with the Arkhamverse. It's better just to start fresh, start a new universe that you can change, so you're not burdened by this happened in Arkham City or all that stuff.
But wait, the counterpoint, because the Arkham legacy has been tarnished when it comes to the fans because of Suicide Squad. If they make a good Justice League game, they can at least redeem it, and then they could say, okay, Suicide Squad was the black eye. We made a pretty good Justice League game.
I just think it's silly to set in the Arkhamverse, because Arkhamverse is Batman. Okay, that the Arkhamverse died with Kevin Conroy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best course of action is to start fresh, because we're starting with why are we digging up a 10-year-old corpse of a universe when we're just about to launch a new DC universe? We need to start fresh. This is a problem that happened with the Snyder stuff. It's happening with James Gunn, where stuff is coming over and you got you're burdened by continuity. Just start fresh, wipe the slate clean, and then you can have your own characterizations. It just seems like setting in Arkham is more trouble than it's worth.
It is,
but the thing is, here's the thing: Warner Brothers, anything Arkham, they'll see $sign. That's what Warner Brothers thinks. That you gotta remember, we're not Warner Brothers. In Warner Brothers' minds, anything Arkham sells. That's what they think.
Well,
That's why
the
they
thing
said
is,
it in there.
That's
well,
what,
the problem
that's what
is
Suicide
they
Squad.
did a very bad job of communicating that this is the Arkhamverse because it's not nowhere in the name. Like you have to like dig in. Like sure, once you play it, you get it. But in all the marketing, they barely ever mention it's in the Arkhamverse.
Actually, I'm gonna push back on that. When you watch the little insider videos they put out, they straight up tell you it's taking place after Arkham Knight.
Your average consumer is not watching those videos, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
I mean,
those videos are for super fans like you and Teladia.
Understood.
Your average consumer like is like they see a trailer on Twitter, they watch it, be like, oh, that's cool, that's bad. Like your average person is not seeing that, and that's the problem.
Understood.
Zeke says, I don't think they're gonna change a lot about this game until after season 4. Here's the thing though, Zeke. Like, if they're bringing back the Justice League throughout the seasons, I think there's a lot that might change in terms of the way the story will go just the story. I'm not talking about the gameplay. I'm talking about the story itself. Like they'll go down a different route now. They know that
I think that there will be some last minute rewrites. I'm with Teladia here.
Mm-hmm.
Because they won't do like more Brainiac stuff, because they'll know that look, Brainiac didn't do well. Yes, it worked for Injustice. That's a different thing. Injustice was a different story and it did well. But because Suicide Squad, I was just like, what was the point of them doing multiple Brainiacs? And yes, you had to grind for it. And I'm just like, what's the point of that? Like the grind,
Yeah.
The grind, it took me 3 days to grind.
When you could buy the Joker straight out. And I'm like,
see, this is a problem with the game where even super fans like you are starting to feel a strain. You know, like even people who are.
I didn't mind because I could play more, but it's like it didn't take me that long. But no, if I had to grind about it purely, that would be one thing. But the fact that I could just buy it, I'm like, okay, I'm not liking that. But anyway,
yeah, the fact that even super fans like you are getting disillusioned,
yeah,
that's a bad sign. Like you guys are the core of the core. Like I'd be classified as a hater. I'm a doubter, but you guys are the super fans. Like so even if you guys are getting like strained, that's bad.
Yeah. So on that note, I think we're going to transition to our final topic of the evening, which is some good old Rebel Moon stuff, because something came out today that makes this movie sound so freaking awesome. Are you ready?
Yes.
So for Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, he and the team studied war movies and actual World War II footage to help inform the battle sequences. The climax of the film totals about 45 minutes of action, of which we get a glimpse of the movie's marketing. So about more than half the movie is like straight up a World War II battle scene.
Wait,
directed by Snyder.
So are these sequences like stock footage or an inspiration?
No. What I mean is that it was inspired by all these different war movies and World War II footage. He's not going to do like the stock footage.
Rock this. What is a good scar? Yeah. Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Really showing your age with that one, Nick. Not gonna lie.
Oh, he shows his age all the time, but
so
yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I saw the Rebel Moon party thing that was going on in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my God, everyone was there, including Ray Fisher.
That dude. That's another dream interview for the podcast.
By the way, I'm still convinced Henry Cavill is going to show up in some capacity.
That would be great. That would be hilarious. He shows up as a character. You know, it'd be kind of funny. If I were Zack Snyder, I would make a planet that sounds like Krypton, but it's not Krypton, and just say he's from there.
Curious. Have they shown the Emperor?
Did they? No.
Okay, Jared. Here's what's going to happen. The Emperor is going to be played by Henry Cavill, and you know who his wife is going to be? Gal Gadot.
Yes. First off, please do that because because here's the thing. One of the biggest tragedies of the Flash movie is that there's going to be a scene at the end with like the George Clooney scene. It was supposed to be Keaton. There's gonna be Keaton and Sasha Calle, but you know who else was gonna show up is Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot. And when Britt told me that, I was like, I need that for clips. I need those clips, but I'll take it if it's in Rebel Moon. I'll take it. It probably won't because
imagine if we see Gal Gadot in like kind of like her Diana Prince, like she's wearing the glasses, and like you see Henry Cavill with this arm around her waist.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be so dope. So so let's do a quick recap of the Rebel Moon 2 release date, and then we can talk about that. So it's April 19th. So it is 14 days from today. So
2 weeks.
Before you guys ask, what's going to happen is if it comes out Friday night, we won't do CLD. We'll just do a live stream watch party of the movie. So that's how we'll do that, because that way we're not doing 2 streams at once. That would be too tiring. So
Yeah.
and the way we'll do it is that we'll watch it live with all of you, react to it just like we did last time. I'll see if I can get Sammy involved too. And then that
won't be too hard.
Yeah, exactly. And then what we will do is we'll discuss it afterwards. So actually, it will count as movie night for that week as well. So it's like, all right, that's fine. We'll just do that. So it's not like movie. Why did they not show Earth and Star Wars? I thought it would have been cooler. We see normies on Earth responding. Well, because it's a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Actually, in the old EU, Earth does exist.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. But again, because of Disney, Earth EU is not canon anymore.
Disney? Are you saying that Disney destroyed Earth?
Oh, actually, yeah. And you know what's kind of funny? They then complained that they didn't have source material. The minute Kathleen Kennedy said that, that was when my soul died and I lost all faith in Lucasfilm, because you literally had books and books and books of fan-loved material that you could have adapted. But
my thing was trash. The thing that really ticked me off was when Kathleen Kennedy said, "It's not like we have books that we can just adapt the stuff from."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that was just like Kathleen Kennedy. It's not like George Lucas hired you the day before. You've known George. You have to know that these books exist. Like,
yeah, it just. Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to go in your own direction, fine, but don't try to downplay and attempt to save face. Like,
yeah, especially since the fact that, like, I'm sorry, the sequel trilogy is just like the Legacy of the Force storyline. Kylo Ren is Darth Caedus. Rey is Jaina Solo. You know, it's like it's very obvious that they mined that storyline, and also the fact that they brought in like a ton of EU characters, like the fact that Heir to the Empire is getting it was adapted, like for Ahsoka, and she literally said Heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, they knew what they were doing when they wrote that line.
Oh, there was a comic where Han Solo and Chewbacca crash on ancient Earth. Indiana Jones finds Solo's skeleton, and Chewbacca becomes a Sasquatch. It's great. Oh, I love that. So it's like a what if series. What if they crash landed on Earth? That would be actually really funny. I would love that. It's like Chewbacca is Bigfoot. That kind of explains a lot. So I think that's a good place to leave this stream. This was a fun one, gentlemen. So Nick, where can we find you, and what have you got coming on your channel?
Well,
and then actually, stream, while we're here, I'll just I'll send out the sign up link. So while I do that, Nick, you want to inform the people while I'll be sending them?
All right. So I've been talking about my Comic Turn Samurai #4, and now it is time for it to go on Indiegogo. It'll be launching next month in May on Indiegogo. Pre-launch is live, so Jared's got the link. You can sign up there and then get ready. We're trying to go for we're about 4 people away from 10 signups. So if we can get 10 signups on this day, that'd be awesome. And tomorrow I'll be doing Spider-Man, and then next week you got the regularly scheduled content.
All right, JJheat, how about you? And you're muted, JJheat.
Heat man, you there?
As
All
for
right,
me,
Teladia.
you can find
Okay.
you can find me on JJheat75 on Twitter or X or JJheat Blaze. Also, starting on Saturdays, that'll be Mass Effect Saturdays on my channel, where I will post my playthroughs of Mass Effect 2, and of course my overall of course Mass Effect 3 and all the content on the Legendary Edition, and then I'll wrap everything up on a retrospective. But please stay tuned for SwordSword content. I'm trying to. I had a recent data spike recently from a storm that recently hit our area, so I got to archive everything to see what I was able to save, and if it's salvageable, I'll continue my SwordSword content. Otherwise, I'll have to start my playthrough all over again. But hopefully, it won't come to that. And also, stay tuned for New Direction vs. Elseworld. What if Scion was in the Decamu? And I hadn't forgotten Teladia. Part 2 of my Gotham Knights reaction / review. That is also in the works.
This is just turning out so good for me because I get to watch you guys in pain. So
just him, not me.
Yeah,
just him.
So yeah, exactly. Actually, no, Teladia and I get to watch you in pain. So speaking of Teladia,
yes. Well, for me, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Teladia Plays _ on YouTube this Sunday. I will be having Miller Ross on my channel, where we'll be discussing Suicide Squad, Killer Justice League, and all the information that he has. I'm going to ask him questions from the audience and from Jared, and from if anyone else wants to ask questions, feel free to DM me, and I will ask those questions to Miller, because he has all the inside knowledge for that. And also next week there isn't going to be a stream, potentially Friday, maybe Thursday or Friday. I'll do the Batgirl stream. I don't know yet. I have to double check. But there will be a Batgirl stream where we talk about the Batgirl comic. It's a Teladia Plays one-shot comic talk, where we talk about Batgirl New 52 number 1. So we'll be talking about that with Little Movie Pit, and that will be interesting to talk with him about that. And also in the pipeline is myself and the members will be watching Lego Batman. Jared, play the clip.
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, I might as well. Speaking of Lego Batman,
Batman doesn't do ships.
That's good.
We'll be watching that and reacting to it on stream.
In terms of for me, Britt and I are going to fix DC Rebirth. And before you say anything, not doing DC Rebirth was not an acceptable response. So we're going to be doing that. Movie night, we're going to be talking about Batman and Robin. Oh boy, here we go. Time to chill.
Oh boy.
For
tonight, so you're saying that tomorrow is forecast. A freeze is coming.
Yeah. And in terms of for not movie night, for my commentary, I'm still like figuring out what I want to do. You guys really responded to the DC needs a reboot video, so I made you that for Marvel. We'll see what we can do with that. And in terms of Under Two Capes, I still haven't thought about what I want to do for that one. And then we'll announce what the next movie is for movie night probably shortly. Anyway, stay heroic, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. And remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zod. Zoe's for life. Thank you. And remember, Max the Bat for life.